Appreciate y'all, man. Tap in, speak your truth.
Sure.
I'm here, Double M Shooting My Podcast as well. So make sure, it's a family environment here. So come lock in with us, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't just say anybody, you feel me? But I do want people to feel comfortable. If you put in that work, I talk about a lot of hustlers, man. So if you out here hustling, putting that work in, if you feel like you someone that can actually come out here and talk about whatever you hustling about, give people some game or whatever, some knowledge, then, you know what I'm saying, let's go. That's why, to answer that question again better, you know what I'm saying, like come lock in with me if you out here really putting that work. Because I'm going to see it through your Instagram. I'm going to see it through your profile. I'm going to see all that. I'm going to see all that, man. I'm going to see it. So please, if you serious, come lock in with me. Obviously, come lock in with Jeff as well if you can. All right, if you become a member here at Double M, I'm giving all the plugs right now, so come do that. All right, go stream that music. Yeah. All right, I think that I cover all the joints. Yeah, man, I'm Double M affiliate. You feel me? So yeah, I gotta make sure I'm locked in with the team, man. Also, come to the next RDI nights whenever you can.
Yes,
These
sir.
are some shows. They rock out. I think that was the last one. All right, but yeah, man, appreciate you again, Jeff, my dog. Yes, sir, man. Lock in with me. 85_2 on my personal. You know what I'm saying? I get a little funny on there. So yeah, thank you.
I know my strengths and I know my weaknesses. So the way I was kind of approaching giving game or my version of game, whatever you want to call it before, was in my eyes, Jeff knows everything.
Right.
So it's his platform, it's his X, Y, and Z. He has to be the one to speak. When in reality, I don't know everything.
Right.
I'm doing a podcast. You know more about podcasts than me. So giving other people to shed light on their expertise to where I may not know as much. You know, that's kind of the whole point.
That's fair. I feel like then this is gonna be a conversation, like you said, just us talking from our angles then, because I mean, growing up, obviously, like I've been around like a lot of this music and paying attention to a lot of, especially hip hop culture for real. Like I guess that's where it will start for me. Like kind of just really gravitating towards that and gospel, of course. Growing up in church, like I said.
Okay. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah, no, gospel for real. Like I honestly like growing up in Haitian church. Honestly, bro, like you feel. A certain energy and a certain soul that comes from, when people are singing sometimes, right? And it's like damn, this is like, you really feel like this is what music that can be like, and honestly, I learned a lot about music in school too. Like I ended up playing the saxophone when I was in like middle school and elementary school, whatever.
You played the sax?
Yeah, I did.
I played the saxophone.
Okay.
Yeah, I was terrible.
Alto, me too. I ain't gonna lie, I was first chair. I was first chair for a minute.
Sax, third and second.
Okay.
There was always one person that was like, you ain't,
Bro.
I let him have it.
I respect that though, because even me, like honestly, like I was just kind of gifted with it. Like I didn't really kind of take it that serious. If I'm being honest, that's why, like I said, fuck it in high school. Like what I'm saying, like I didn't want to.
It's not the cool thing to do in high school.
Honestly, yeah, and I was just too focused on basketball and everything like that, trying to stay tapped in with that. But no, yeah, music for real though, like that it's something that I always really just. Like we talk about, like, I'm an athlete, like, so it is something we talk about a lot when we're in the locker rooms and stuff like that, or just within like the lunch tables and stuff, like growing up, or even with the group chats, like we always talk about what songs about to drop or what artists about to drop,
right.
Things like that, especially like out here too. Like it's funny, like we talked about this recently, me and Cam in the car, like, and I even just like it's been a conversation I've had with a couple of my friends about just Chief Keef, if I'm being honest. That was like a big, like, that was like a big era, right? To that kind of gave everybody a different kind of exposure to music. Because back then, you had to go through LimeWire and got to go through all these different platforms. Like,
before my time.
Boy, what? You wasn't hip to what, man? What? He wasn't hip to LimeWire.
Music was. By the time I was actually, like in the music. Like thoughtfully seeking out shit, it was already provided for me.
Okay,
I didn't need to dig for it.
Man, what if you didn't hear it on the radio? Like, you try to get that shit on LimeWire, bro. Like, and you really had to like know people that could really get that joint on like an MP3 player for you, or like iPod Nanos back in the day, bro. Like, dude,
you're younger than me.
I'm younger than you. Bro, how I'm younger now? Yeah, you don't know, man. That's crazy, Jeff. The iPod Nanos, bro. Back in the day, like you had to get the color joints. It was like.
Nah.
It was like they had blue, they had pink, they had, bro, my God, bro, they had hella joints. They even had the little clip MP3 player joints so you could put. I had that joint, bro. Bro, what? That's before, like, if you was like, I ain't gonna lie, try to be outside for like, you really had to try to go through different sources to get music, bro, because it was like a lot. How are you gonna stay in touch? How you gonna know what's dropping? Like, I mean, you had 106 in Park. You know what I'm saying? You had 106 in Park back in the day too. That really was a big platform for people to kind of really stay tapped into music. But at some point, like I said, it came down the line where like Chief Keef gave us a different kind of exposure to it through YouTube. Like now artists are dropping heavy on YouTube. World Star was like a big thing too at the time. Like so, it just kind of elevated more. So I guess what I mean. Like I was really tapped in, bro. Like really paying attention to how like a lot of this stuff was developing, and to see where it's at now, it's like I ain't gonna lie, this is amazing. Like artists, like they have a lot of opportunity nowadays, and just you just got to figure out your niche and really just try to figure out what you have to do to kind of put yourself out there, honestly. You know what I'm saying? So, kind of, I guess we're going to kind of steer that conversation a little bit, but.
Your niche, how does that play into, like, interviewing people? So, I remember talking to you before as far as.
That's a tough question.
Getting guests and your platform being, I mean, no pun intended, like, the place where people can speak their truth.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you vet people? Who is right who's right for your platform?
Who's right for my platform?
Right.
I mean, now I'm gonna say like it's hard to kind of really talk about it because like I'm still in that process of like trying to get those like people that I'm vetting honestly. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because I've gone through a phase of where I've talked to, like I said, a lot of artists because of opportunities that you guys have gave me, and even before that when I was like just starting to come back home from college and everything, I'm tapping into people around me like so it kind of was kind of like all right, I'm just trying to see what's going on out here, and I'm just trying to see what it is. But now that I've done this for about 4 years now, it's like I'm just kind of really looking for people that I feel like are true to themselves when in their artistry. You know what I'm saying? Like, or there's something about them that makes me say, okay, you know what, I can tell you should take this serious. Like I don't know. It's tough when it comes to like niche. You know what I'm saying? When you like, I guess that is my niche when you ask that question.
You know when you see it.
Yeah, I know when I see it. Like you know what I mean? Like, especially when it comes to like going to shows, I feel like shows is a good opportunity for me personally. Like. To kind of see what an artist is about and kind of get those like see how an audience and a crowd engages with them, and it's like okay, like I just kind of keep going. Like you said, see what I feel like makes sense for me because I honestly want to have those conversations that I can get someone to speak their truth. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I don't know. I am a guy that at some point too like I want to see you around at some point and more than just maybe like. Let's say the studio or you dropping music, okay, but where else are you present? Like, what I'm saying? That's another thing that I feel like is big for me too, because if you're not out here, how are we gonna be able to talk about, what you're gonna do if I'm being honest, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Right. That being your message, speak your truth. Why a podcast? You're so invested in music. Not saying you become an artist yourself. Right. But with everything, all the different forms and mediums you can promote that message, why a podcast?
Because honestly, like I'm not. When it comes to music itself, like I'm not. I've tried. I play around, freestyle and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't gonna lie.
We've had our freestyle.
You know what I'm saying? I'll pick up a beat. You know what I'm saying? Jeff knows I'll pick up a beat every now and then. But it's something for me that like I'm not that passionate about when it comes to music itself. Right. But I am like when making music, I should say. But like I like the story of things. Like I love like being able to be a witness or just be a part of it. Like I feel like that's why I said when you say public relations, like you said, as an artist, you're gonna want somebody that at some point that's gonna like your music. So I feel like you're gonna need somebody that like your music. Like I feel like I'm that person that can make somebody like okay, this is what it is. I feel like that's my role, honestly, because I tie it back into like being an athlete. I had to like it's like you put in the grind for something. Right, and I see that you take it serious. It's the same way, like, okay, I will support you. Right, I support my teammates. Like, I see it that way. Like, I support you. You know what I mean? And I can talk, and I can be that person that can vouch for you or something like that. Or I can be that person that can, be able to help tell your story and help you tell your story. Yeah. Right, because I can feel like, growing up, honestly, people have been comfortable with me to tell me things, and, it's kind of always been like that. So that's where it's like I said, making music itself. Yeah. Like I said, we can have fun, like do a little freestyle and shit. But I ain't about to, what I'm saying, really. That's not something for me to pour my passion into. I'd rather, I see someone else and they're going full on at it. And it's like, okay, you're talking about things, especially with the music. You're talking as an artist. I'm listening to see what you're talking about. If you're telling a story, if you are keeping it real, and it's like, okay, talk about that in person. You know what I'm saying? To give your audience a different angle of view. To make them want to be, like, what I'm saying, make yourself more impressionable. Right. Yeah.
So you kind of you act as that safe space for people to talk off of the music.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
That's exactly what I want to be, like, to be that safe space. Because that's just, like I said, that's kind of what I've always been. It's kind of naturally what I mean, I ask for it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Sometimes I'm shocked by it too, but like, you know, people are kind of comfortable with me and to tell me things. Like, it's kind of been like that since I was in like elementary school. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, like I was a fake little counselor when it came to like people's relationships. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, man, like, okay, now I'm growing older, and it's kind of still the same thing. I'm getting close to people. People feel comfortable. Tell me like their secrets and stuff like that. And like,
at times it's like, bro, why are you telling me all this? But then you start to accept it, and you're like, okay, this is my path. This is my role.
Yeah, bro, and I ain't gonna lie, back in the kick shot days too, man. Like, people would ask me for advice. I'm bringing back the old shit in this podcast of the kick. You don't know what kick was?
The KIK?
KIK?
Okay.
He called it KIK. Oh my god. Kick, no, you funny. Yeah.
With the green.
Yo, that's gotta be a clip, man.
The blue eye. It was green and blue, right?
Yeah, green and blue. But yeah, I was even in there too. Like, it's funny. Like, they called me like Reverend Tony in the group chat back in the day. It was
Reverend
funny.
Tony.
Yeah, I was giving some game back in middle school, man. I've been doing it for a while, man. So, you know, like I said, I just kind of want to be that, continue to be that person for people, even within music. Like, yeah, that's pretty much what it is, you know, because I've talked with athletes, I've talked with, I can talk with, you know, I've talked with photographers, talked with hairstylists, barbers, you know what I'm saying? I've talked with a lot of people, especially, and I feel like with music is another form of, you know, what drives culture. I've been,
for sure,
like I said, when it comes to like how we can even just talk about, you know, the LimeWire thing, the oil stars, like that's all a part of culture. That's all things that need to be talked about. And I feel like, especially for me, podcasting, when you ask that question again, I'm thinking like, you know, I'm trying to be that person, you know, from especially this community, you know, Montgomery County, DMV, like that can really tell a story out here in a good way, you know what I'm saying, or help the artists out here, you know, put themselves on a platform in a positive way, in a way that, you know, brings them out to them true selves, and, you know, give the people what they actually want to see when they start to like your music and want to know more about you and everything like that.
Right. You've interviewed. Just like in the span of you having this podcast, you've interviewed a lot of people, rappers, singers, designers, like you name it, just creatives in general. And you're so professional yourself. You have things set up. You have time set. You have, you know, this is how I want to conduct things. Like you being so professional. What are some tips, or what would you like to see more from your guests? Like, on some interview etiquette, like this is what you need to have prepared. I know this you have a lot to say about this.
It's a funny,
like before the interview, before the podcast, during and after. Like, what is your perfect guest? Perfect doesn't exist, but you know what I mean.
Man, that's a great question, because I don't want to feel like I'm slighting anybody that's been on the podcast.
Slight
if you feel some type of way, you feel some type of way.
Yeah.
And obviously we can talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
We're gonna set that up. Obviously we want to continue to be progressive. Like I was just talking about it in one of my reels the other day about, you know, having constructive conversation, constructive communication within, you know, the community. So, you know, my perfect guest would be like, all right, you hit me up, or I don't know, like it's. Cause I can't even just say just hit me up, because sometimes people hit me up and they don't be serious, man, or they just.
Is it easier to talk about the don'ts?
Man, maybe the don'ts, because yeah, man, people hit me up, man, and then I'm DMing back, and that's the one thing I want to start transitioning. I'm glad you bring this up, because these are things I've been thinking about transitioning into, like. Excuse me, the more professional, like, kind of like etiquette towards like setting things up. But, you know, DMing is hard because, you know, people have schedules and, you know, things happen. But I respond, someone says, oh, yo, what's up with a podcast? And I'd be like, all right, I'm available this time. I'm giving you I'm open with you already. Like, can we be constructive in terms of setting up a time? Because like I said, I'm a flexible person. I know people have things that they have going on. So let's work this out. If you can't constructively trying to have work a conversation out to, you know, set up a time, if you're serious about it, you know what I'm saying, then, you know, that's one of those don'ts. Also, like, a don't, I would say, kind of just, if I'm being honest, just like you said, let's be real with yourself in terms of, like, you know, what about you per se is worth someone like, what can you give out to people that is gonna make them want to gravitate, wanting to hear about you outside of your music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not looking for people that's just gonna try to come on and give me hot takes and just say whatever. Like, I've had people that maybe want to sound sweet or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, we can see through that. Like, I'm someone
it's
that's
not your truth.
Yeah, it's not your truth. I'm gonna be able to see through that. Like, we're sitting down in the conversation in front of a camera with lights on you. Like, and a lot for a lot of people, that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
So it's like, now that I'm seeing, like, and for me, I can read that. Like, I've been good at reading people to my life. So it's like, I'm gonna sit there with you. Like, all right, like, I'm trying to have a conversation. Like, can we, like, I wanna really talk about something like that we can,
profound.
I ain't just profound, but like, let's can we navigate this? You feel me? Like, can we dive deep into something? Because like, that's what's gonna make an interview for me like really good. Like, can we talk about something that is really personal, valuable to you? That what I'm saying, maybe that someone else is gonna say, you know what, I fuck with that. Like, or I like that. Like, I wanna I want to learn more about them, or just want to hear more about their music. Like, it's like I said, it's tough with the do's and don'ts, because it's just a lot of things that get thrown my way, and it's just like, man, you throw me off. Like,
so like at the end of the day, or at least now, it's kind of like, what can I tolerate?
What can I tolerate?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I appreciate people that, one, I ain't gonna lie, like, I've had a couple people go through labels to hit me up and want to set things up. But I love that, right? Because it's like, now I don't have to necessarily speak to the artist, but that's another form of communication to the artist, that what I'm saying, we can align things and make things work out.
Right.
So like, if there's like potentially like a third party that manages you or something like that, that would be more better to suitable to manage, like, set up the time, then what I'm saying, that's something that I would say I really appreciate. Because even afterwards, like, it's proper, like, all right, when are we gonna drop this content, blah blah blah, blah. Like, okay, I like that. Like, I'm giving you this timeline, because obviously we have to upload, edit, do all these things, try to make the reels and clips.
Right. People don't understand how much it goes into
it. Boy. I tell you, but man, the way me and Cam can be cutting up this shit sometimes, bro. Like, man.
I've seen you. Like, I've seen your really, like, what happens after this is gone. Like, you're done talking, leave. Like,
man,
it gets serious.
It gets serious, boy. That upload, man. Don't hit that format button, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. Don't ever hit that format button if that SD card is in your camera, man. I'm telling you, it's bad news. It's bad news. But yeah, no, it gets ugly though, bro. I'm telling you. It's and in terms of just like, yeah, like I said, even when I was talking about the timing of it too, like, okay, like, we are still real people, that we have our schedules that we have to stay aligned with. So it's like, all right, you're gonna want this in a certain timeline, respectfully, but I'm also gonna give you a timeline that's like reasonable for me, and the team to say, you know what, like, we're gonna put it at this time, and if you're okay with that, cool. You know what I'm saying? And even with the labels, like, it's good communication. They're just like, all right, just let us know, send us before. All right, cool. I like it. Let's just keep it simple, and good. In terms of like, if you push the content out too afterwards, like, that's check. Like, if you push the content once it's out too, as like, you don't expect me to be the only source of, like, all right, I'm trying to get this out to people. Like, nah, you value your community and send it out to people in your community.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Show me that you care.
Show me that you care. Like, this is your investment to yourself.
Right.
So it's like, why not put it out there for people? Like, why not send it to your people that you did a podcast with Speak Your Truth? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what's gonna make the podcast grow up. Not me saying, all right, you did an interview with Ant. All right, if you think like that, all right, cool. I appreciate the like, that's how you feel about me, but that's not what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Have a sense of community. Like, it's not just a one-off thing. It's we're doing this together.
Right, exactly. We can still, like, all right, you keep me in line. Maybe, are you doing a show? Pop out to my show or something like that. Okay, cool. I'll pop out off the strength, because we did something together. Or like, if we did something before, like, I seen you at the show, like I said earlier. Then I hit you up for the podcast. Like, yo, like, come on to my podcast. You rock this shit out. Like, that's how I feel. Like, that's how I want to kind of just really have that good sense of, like, rapport with people. Like, I can feel that you're a genuine person. I can feel that you really want to do things a certain way, and I feel your, like I said, the professionalism. Like, you carry this a certain way. You care about your artistry. You care about everything that you do. So it's like, bring that onto the platform.
Right.
And then I'll be that source to be like, you know what? All right, I'm also pushing to my people, because it's like, I also my platform to grow too. So now it's like, I can also vouch for you and say, nah, this person is like really like one of the ones, and whatever they do.
At the end of the day, you just want to make something that you're proud of. You know, so none of that. Are you gonna promote it? Am I gonna promote it? Is even like in question.
Right, exactly.
Do you have a favorite interview? Like, not that you've done, just that was a really good interview. Great questions, great guest. Yeah, if you get off the top of your head.
Off the top of my head, I'm not gonna lie. Shout out to Threeski. I ain't gonna lie, Threeski was a very good one for me, man. Because, like I said, just the overall like way we like start to finish of like podcast. Afterwards, like I see, he comes with his team. You know what I'm saying? Like we keep it professional, and then afterwards too, like I've seen it in the studio. We do a vlog in the studio. Like Threeski's, I ain't gonna lie, he's been one of my favorite ones because, like I said, I see how he carries himself a certain way with his artistry, and you know, to see how much, you know, investment that he's put into it.
Right.
You know, it's just something that I really, you know, respect about him.
So you it's safe to say, I mean, this is with anybody, like you're gonna respect who respects themselves, their craft, their art. It just makes everything go much
Respect themselves, and like I said, just pushing themselves. So like, you know, they want to push themselves a certain way. Like I said with Threeski, like as someone that, you know, I had to. It's funny because I knew about him prior to, like I just because through basketball a little bit, but nothing too personal. So it was like to see him in a different like kind of avenue, like that's why I said it challenged me a little bit too to kind of really say, you know what, let me try to add some things that are not going to be too geared about to what I already heard about you. Let me stick to what is, you know what I'm saying, like what you're here for. That's another thing that I want to like talk about too when I'm on it, like a podcast. Like, what are you here for, so that I can make sure that I'm helping you if you really are serious about what you want to do. Right. Because I don't want to sit here and ask you questions and, you know, like about your relationship. And like, what does that have to do with your music, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I feel like sometimes, especially when people see a podcast, they think, oh, this is just a opportunity to chop shit. Like, nah, man, I'm not trying to.
As true as it may be, I don't want to talk about that.
I do not want to talk about that. This, that, the third, cool. But nah, I ain't trying to talk about that for 45 minutes to an hour, man. Like, I really want to, especially for someone to see the product, like, I want them to be like, okay, like, I got a good 45-minute sit down. I got that good 30, whatever, how many minute long sit down, because they were talking about real shit. Like, I don't want to, that's something that I feel like, you know, I've honestly like trying to build and stand on since I've started for real. I've asked some good questions. I ain't gonna lie, man. I gotta come tapping with your digs, boy, because like it's fun. It's funny that when I get on the opposite side of these things too, though, because it's like, you know, I was thinking about, man, what we gonna talk about today, man? What are we gonna talk about today? Like, music and just.
And I don't send out the questions or anything.
That's, I mean, because like you said, we just sit here talking, man. Like, and honestly, like, just like, this is within the culture of music too. Like, I feel like for people to, from the fan perspective, from the audience perspective, like, I feel like we can, like I said, we can see someone who's not being themselves. We can see when someone's not being, you know, open and honest, or they're not. Or honestly, we can see that maybe your music just isn't that good, and you didn't, you know what I mean? Like, you didn't really put in the time and effort to really polish what you wanted to make, because the potential could be there, but it's like someone with even like, I feel like I don't have the greatest ear for music, but like, it's like we can tell, man. Like, we can tell when something isn't crafted all the way or built up a certain way.
What? Yes, agreed. What then makes a good song to you? Now, of course, you have your own opinion.
Right.
I have my own opinion.
I mean,
like,
a good song to me is just one. I was telling Cam, like, beat selection. I feel like that's like a very like for the average listener, like, I feel like you got to get them within the first probably 10 seconds, right? Because even me, like, I'm listening to something, I'm waiting for something, right? Like, even with the beats, like, all right, next, you know what I'm saying? Like you have to. I feel like from our perspective, you got to get us with a good beat, right? Good beat, and then from there, like, what are you building into what the beat is? Because like, it could be whatever kind of beat. Like, I don't care. It could be rock. It could be hip hop. It could be you know, R&B, whatever. But what comes next? Like, what are you matching the energy of the beat? Maybe are you you know, I don't know. Like, is the production that you like I said, is it there? Like, is it all the way there? Like, did you really take your time to like make this
attention to detail?
It's attention to detail there, right?
On a 2-track,
right? Because even if you are just a pure talent, right? Like, you may be a pure talent, but what if, like, you know what I'm saying, we can, like, at some point that talent is just going to become so, like, you know, redundant or repetitive that you didn't want to spend time to hone in on that craft.
Right.
We can also tell that too. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that's why for a lot of people, they feel like, oh, our fans don't fuck with them no more. Like, nah, man, you just making the same stuff for a while, bro. Like, can we get something new? Can you evolve? Like, can you grow? Tell you, it's like, and I especially for, like, I feel like why a lot of big artists get, you know, the attention that they do is like because they're also telling they're telling their story and making it relatable to people. Like, are you being relatable as well? Like, you know, you don't have to force yourself to be relatable. You know what I'm saying? Like, just be you. Like, everything in life is just be you.
Right.
So why not just be you through this music, right? And if we're being honest, like, some people have to evaluate themselves about if music is even that true medium for them. If I'm being honest as well, right?
Yeah.
You know,
if they like you said, if they care.
If they care that much, right? Like, did you get on this song because I had to vent, or I had to get on this song because I love music and I'm able to tell my story.
Right.
We can tell all that stuff too.
do you kind of set your own feelings aside when it's time to conduct an interview with somebody like that, who you kind of clearly see not really in this for?
Oh yeah, trust me, I've been challenged, bro. I've been challenged.
I think I even I know a few. Well, yeah.
I've been challenged, bro. Like I said, because yeah, like I even me, I don't want to be seen. I want to be seen as that person you can be open and honest with. But at the end of the day, like, I'm not gonna be. I'm not clinically, you know, I'm not a therapist. You know, I can't. There's some things I can't navigate for you. I can advise you to eventually go to a therapist or something like that, because that's important to take care of your mental health. I talk about those things, like, you gotta take care of your stuff, but I can only take you so far, right? And that even me, like, that's a tough thing for me. Even me, I've thought about, especially within my young age, like, to kind of even go into with people. Like, I want to let myself kind of grow a little bit more to, you know, understand myself some more, and even understand other people some more before I can even talk about, you know, how, like, you know, what's really going on deep within your mental health.
Right.
I work with kids, and I'm you know, kind of seeing what's going on with that as well. It's like, all right, like, yeah, this is a tough conversation to even go into and have sometimes. And I'm learning, because everybody has different things that they go through, right? And I feel like, you know, like I said, honestly, within music, like, some people can do it, but it's not. Don't let that be your only outlet for whatever it is that you're going through. You know what I'm saying? And if that is your outlet, right? I don't know, like, you just be creative with it or something, man. Like, that's just all we ask for, like, because nobody's saying that you can't go through these things and express yourself, but think about what you're actually expressing yourself about, and do you think that's something that's worth you putting out on production?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Because I don't know, like, it's a lot of things that goes on out here, and, you know, yeah, we just gotta.
I think in some ways music has become the new therapy, where I use it to say anything. I can say anything. Yeah. Literally anything.
And that's fair. And that is absolutely fair. But if I'll put it like this, don't put out your therapy session for people to listen to and expect people to feel sorry for you. Or you know what I'm saying, or have people have feeling towards you. Like, nah, like, that's not what an audience is meant for. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what we're here for. We want to appreciate the music that gets put out with good quality, good, like, and we see people that value themselves within that. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's why I shout to Nas B. Like, he's built a great, like, just business with, or like, you know what I mean? Like, he's done it the right way, because you know, you can see that he's taking time to, you know, focus on the details, and you know what I mean, really puts things out there that makes sense. Right. Doesn't make sense. He literally dropped a project called It All Makes Sense. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to bro for that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody on the production, because like, it's you can see, like, there's certain people that you can see that there's a reason why they're in what they're in, and maybe you fuck with their success, maybe you don't, but at the end of the day, they're doing what they want to do for themselves, and it's making sense for themselves, and they have people, that they have an audience, they have whatever it is that's there to back them to prove that. Right. And you're having an audience is your proof. It's pretty much your proof.
Yeah. Great way to put that.
Yeah.
Do you think that an interview or a podcast is meant, like, the purpose of it, I'm an artist, my purpose going on your platform is to bring more attention to my music, or me as a person?
Both, but really, really the music though, and that's what I'm trying to really stay. I want to work on, even within my interview questions. Like I'm trying to watch more, pay attention to more of like what's going on within the industry and everything like that, seeing how they talk about things with music. So obviously that's like I said, that's my goal to help people, like go listen to your music, get your streams, you know what I'm saying, like that. But also you as a person matters within that though.
For sure.
Because it's like, all right, we gonna listen to this person, but who is he? Especially on a local level, like we gonna like, who is this person? Like
it might crank, but I don't care enough to look deeper.
Yeah, exactly. Like, all right, like art is a song, cool.
Right.
Maybe EP. Like, but like what else? Like, what else about you? What it is about you? Like, especially nowadays, like you had to have some type of personality that people can say, okay, like this is them. Like, it's cool. Like we love it. We hate it. Whatever it is. Like we have feeling towards it. So that's another thing that can drive you in your marketing. I feel like as well. Like, all right, you see that people fuck with you. All right, cool. Let's ride the way. I'm gonna go ahead and talk about it. But if you see these people hating on you, fuck it. Talk about the haters. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what you're supposed to do in music.
All publicity is good.
All publicity is good publicity. You know what I'm saying? Like be who you want. Be who you are to the people and embrace that. And if and just go with that. You know what I'm saying?
Because, and if you want to change the narrative, you have the option.
And if you have to change the narrative, you have the option to. You know what I'm saying? But you have to put the work in regardless of all of that. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much what I end up talking about too. Like how much work have you end up putting in with your, whatever it is, with music or whatever I'm talking about with the guests on the show.
Right. Good answer.
Trying my best, man. I'm trying my best. Like I said, you had some good questions, Brody. That's good questions, man.
And I'm learning a lot too, like while asking them. So good on both sides. You are starting a podcast from scratch. Speak Your Truth from scratch. It's not even called Speak Your Truth. You haven't even found the name.
It was called the ANA Podcast, Speak Your Truth, man. Shout out to my boy Adrian, man. That's what it was, man. That's what it was back in 2020. Started joining before. Yeah, when I tell you, bro, I've been doing this for a minute, like COVID, like it's funny, that was like almost everybody's little spark or whatever, but like COVID for me, that was the really podcast was the idea, like because I had thought about it because I was watching a lot of podcasts before, like it's like, you know what, especially like the ones that like I got the media, like the Twitter attention and all that stuff. Like, bro, like what is, like, man, you can talk about this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I can talk about whatever, because especially at the time, like I was having like me, Adrian, we had two other roommates, Xavier and Day. Yeah, we would like we stayed in the crib together. We was having like, bro, when I tell you it was 19, 20, just talking about real life shit, like, bro, like, why are we talking about this? You know, we're like, where the cameras at? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, those conversations. It was like, me and Adrian at the time were the most serious about it. It was like, fuck it, let's do it. And we
started a whole company, a whole movement. Okay, so you have, let's talk about that podcast before even it grows to what it is now. Right. You have $100, $200 to start it. What is your first investment?
My first investment, if I'm being honest, we had
Speak Your Truth.
We had the Speak Your Truth. We ended up getting his parents. We got they did like design and stuff like that. So we ended up having a little banner in the back. So we had that, but we also ended up investing just 300 myself, because me and him both put up 300 for the camera.
You have like you haven't even met bro yet.
Oh, I haven't met bro.
You haven't even like this is shit. Just I have the idea to start a podcast. I got $100 from my birthday or my Christmas money.
Oh yeah.
What's your knowing what you know now?
Well, knowing what I know now. Right, all right, cool. Right. Knowing what I know now with that $100. You said $100 now.
Make it 1,000.
1,000, man. That's enough. 1,000 is more than enough. Yeah. My first investment is the microphone setup and a camera. That's all. That's like those would be the first two things. After that, I'm investing in storage on Google. Yeah, I'm dead ass. I'm dead ass, bro. You gotta keep that shit somewhere, bro. Yeah, you gotta keep it somewhere. So my storage on Google. Right. Where else?
I didn't expect you to say that. Although
it said no. You asked me what I know now. Believe me, that damn storage. I'm about that shit ASAP.
Gets to me too, and I don't even like. Yeah.
Because you going through it right now, like the storage and everything, trying to make sure you can put up all places.
Reminds me every day.
Trust me, bro. So yeah, camera tripod, of course. Microphone, audio interface with multiple outputs. Yeah. a laptop, Mac laptop. So that's got me probably right there at that 1,000, maybe just a little over. So I might have to go do some things to get the extra $100, but I can do that.
Yeah.
DoorDash or Uber Eats, you know, shout out to them.
Right.
But yeah. So I that's pretty much what I get. And if I'm being honest, actually,
Yeah.
to bring it to keep it to 1,000, I would take away fuck the tripods for a little bit, but I can use
Yeah,
the books
facts.
or whatever, right? I'll invest in studio time. And have space secured, because that was another thing that for me, like, if I was in the basement with it, you know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, like, the basement's the basement, but
Like I said,
I
we
need
start somewhere.
start somewhere. But like I was also like, if I could even just start at the studio, like, trust me, I feel like that could have catapulted me to a different like level right now. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, all those things: camera, camera, mics, get the audio interface, studio time, and storage. And yeah,
It's kind of the same for like starting a music career.
what-
$1,000 interface, laptop, headphones. You don't really need monitors or speakers. Software, but you can crack that.
yeah, I'm about to say all that, man.
Like
Got a little jug every now and then. You know what I'm saying?
everybody at one point, music journey, podcast journey, something was
some
not
was free
completely bought for it.
99.
Yeah.
Something was free 99.
But that's how you know you truly love it. Is I went out of my way,
trust me,
to get this faulty software to make these.
I believe you, bro.
Less than beats or whatever. But yeah, okay.
You, I believe you.
That's what you would do with $1,000.
$1,000, yo. Invest in that, because now I'm gonna talk what I need to talk about, but also at the time, like I said, being honest, I already knew people that would have been interested in doing this, so it was like I can get that set up looking, a certain way immediately. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, yeah, I could really make that $1,000, yeah, because I can make that a couple of times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm putting it back into the business. That $1,000 is really just a head start, if I'm being honest.
Right.
It's really just a head start.
Cool.
Yeah.
There any questions from me? Any?
So yeah, because you sit down in the process of it. Yeah, that's what, like, I want to know your angle of, like, what's it like when you're in a session with someone and you're like really trying to help them with their craft, because like I said, like, as someone that just listens to the product, right, like I said, we can see where time was spent. So what is it like for you, and what is it like for you when you're in there with someone trying to make the song?
I mean, I think first it's knowing what you're doing. So knowing how to set up the mic or work the preamp, how levels should be, setting the mood with lights, with candles, whatever. Like, you are, again, how you were saying, you are that therapist. Right. So as soon as you walk through the door, I'm kind of noticing, do you have a smile? Do you have a frown? What colors are you wearing? Right. Are you talking? How are you talking? Soft, very choppy, and kind of like, okay, I know where to start. And it's a therapy session. Right. So from the beat that you load up, or we're making something from scratch. Right. I know what mood you're in. So that lets me know what words to use. That lets me know the tempo. That lets me know maybe we should go with a piano versus a guitar, a more snappy snare drum as opposed to a lo-fi snare drum. Right. So it's noticing, it's details, bro. Right. At the very surface, it's, I know how to operate Pro Tools. I know how to click the mouse.
My bad. So
sure.
So what is it like when it comes to the actual songwriting then? Like, because like, how do you help someone deliver their message then? I guess it would be a better question for me to ask. How do you help someone deliver their message? Because let's say someone's going in an angle or pocket where they're talking about something, and then the next thing you know, they're talking about something that doesn't even make sense after. Like, how do you help someone kind of navigate their song? Is it kind of the same thing with the whole mood, vibes?
You're kind of by their first lines before it gets choppy and kind of derails. You get a sense of concept. Okay. What is the overall, painting? What is it overall supposed to be? Okay. And then you kind of, just like through experience, really, you understand this is what you were trying to say. You just didn't know how to say it. So you gave me this, then you kind of went over here, but I know the words or the cadence, the flow, the pocket to get it back.
Right.
there. So it's really just paying attention.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how do you and what is it like for you? I guess chemistry wise, and with engineers and producers then, too, because I guess that's another. Obviously, you spend a lot of time here. Like, what is it like, kind of building that rapport with them to help these artists? Kind of what is it? What is it? Yeah, just talk about that. Yeah, what's the relationship that you have with like engineers and producers then?
Just in general or specifically the ones here?
You can say in general. In general.
It's kind of. Before I work with anybody, like I have to not understand you, but get to know you as a person. Right. So if my writing style and my production style is a little bit softer, you could say that I approach things in regular life like soft, so to speak, or I'm not as aggressive.
Right.
Now, the engineers and the producers, with their production or the way they mix the beat, is also an indication of what they are, how they are outside of the studio.
Right.
So off rip, I can kind of know that I can build a chemistry with you by what you do outside of the studio.
Okay.
Yeah.
For sure.
And then it's just reps.
For sure.
It's being locked in a room for 4 or 5 hours, just kind of getting to know how each other works.
Yeah, because I was talking about that, and I brought that up because I quickly want to talk about too, like, I feel like nowadays, especially like it's the engineers and producers that are really kind of, I would say, not carrying music, but they're really like their impact is more felt nowadays. Like, why would you say that is?
Good question. I would say the detail with the substance has gone back to the music.
Okay.
Where people just want to vibe, or the majority just want to vibe now.
Right.
I don't need profound lyrics to vibe.
Mm-hmm.
I need a nice beat, kick drum maybe.
Right.
Hi-hats, and I'm cool.
Okay.
I think the vibe is just at the forefront. And although lyrics can, produce that type of feeling, it's really the production that, gets the people moving.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So
that was such an old way to say that. gets the youngins.
Gets the youngins going. Gets the people going. That's how I go. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Because that's why I brought it up earlier.
Yeah.
In terms of the beat. Like that's what I said. The first thing that a person thinks about when they think about when they hear a song is the beat. So like, are you gonna catch someone with that beat? Right. So I feel like to tie that back all together. Like I feel like for artists, I really want people to really spend time to like kind of find those beats. Like obviously I've talked with a couple artists. They don't work engineers. Excuse me. They don't work here. But like don't be those artists that have to sit down for 30 minutes and you're just trying to go through and surfing through beats. Not like figure out the beat if it matches whatever. Like I said, the beauty of artistry, be creative, tell stories, or like trying to find something to talk about that can make someone relate to whatever it is that you can create for real,
right? Or
that you're going through. You know what I'm saying? So that's, like I said, from the fan perspective, from the artist perspective, that's just something that we value, we appreciate, and that's what makes us, kind of gravitate more towards particular artists, and stuff like that. Yeah.
I mean, everybody's process is different. Your process may be booking 2 hours to look through beats. I mean, as long as we get to the same
destination.
Exactly. It doesn't really matter. It might not be my process or the next man's, but whatever gets the idea out.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
It's all art at the end of the day.
You're right. I can't judge people's art. That's why I'm here to just talk about it. Speak your truth with me. Talk about art.
All right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think that we're good.
For sure.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir, bro.